Welcome. Today we're going to talk about your organizational vision. As a leader, you're responsible for providing direction, alignment, and commitment for your team. So the direction piece is all about the vision. What is the change you're going to make in the world? So when we started Greenhill, we didn't have a clear vision. We knew what we were trying to do, but we really didn't understand the change we wanted to affect in the world. Now, over time, our vision statement has evolved. When we talk about creating a good vision statement, we want to talk about a future state, maybe 10 years down the road. And make sure we highlight the meaningful change we're going to provide with some specific examples, and we want to use plain language. This is all very important because your team needs to be unified behind the vision. Now, simply writing a vision statement doesn't do you any good. You need to communicate this with your entire team, and you need to get buy-in from it. If any of this is unclear, then you need to get clarity on it. You need people's buy-in, and you need them to really believe in it. Now, your vision statement should be aspirational. It shouldn't be easy, and it may be far down the road. But what I can say is when you do communicate your vision, you start to get people aligned behind something bigger than themselves. So for us, we talk about creating a model of care. Now, that sounds great, but realistically, we're not researchers. We're not coming up with a new modality of treatment at Greenhill. But what we are doing, and what I do hope to create, is a model of running an organization effectively. How do we become a triple bottom line company? How do we do right by our clients and our team? And what's necessary? How are we going to change the existing structures? I don't want this just to be some other company. I don't want it just to be profitable. I don't want to have mediocre client outcomes. We really want to get better. So when we talk about a model of care at Greenhill, we're not just talking about what clinical interventions are being used. We're talking about our entire corporate practices. How we're bringing on talented members of the team, how we're providing training, how we're encouraging them to develop personally, even if it isn't at Greenhill. So again, a vision is incredibly important. And I think one of the tools we've used here is to review this annually with the whole team. And over time, it's become a lengthy document. What started out as 2 to 3 sentences about the change we hope to create over the next 10 years has turned into more of a 10-page manifesto. And that's because we have to get really clear about what it means. If we're talking about a model of supervision, what does supervision look like internally at Greenhill? And what you'll find as you develop this vision with your team is that people get really motivated and then they get to do more of what they like at work. We spend a lot of time at work, so it needs to be aligned with what your personal vision is. And the organizational vision likely can change and morph a little bit over time, but it should provide you that North Star. All your initiatives should fall under that, and this should be the overarching theme, is this is where we're going. So without a clear vision, it just becomes frustrating. When we didn't have a clear vision, everything becomes whack-a-mole. When you don't have a vision, everything's just a project that needs to get managed, and it doesn't have a cohesive framework. And that's really frustrating to everyone. Now, the last thing I'm going to say on vision is, as a leader, you probably have this in your head. You probably think it's obvious. In fact, you may have a good vision statement, but you've got to communicate this over and over. This is where I fall short all the time. I think because something is obvious to me, it should be obvious to others, and it's not. As a leader, you need to think about communicating everything you want 7 times. Because just because you've been thinking about it, these big aspirational things, doesn't mean everyone else on your team has. They have a whole host of things to do. So, communicate the vision. Hope you enjoyed today's session, and we'll see you tomorrow.